What's up, guys, and welcome back to Dragon's Dogma. If you can't tell by my voice, I am just a little bit sick again. For some reason, the universe sees it fit to strike me with illness after illness, which I don't agree with, but there's not a whole lot I can do about it. I hate to admit it, but I am doing a retrospect right now, as I usually do live voice recordings. Like, that's what I prefer to do. It's a lot easier like that. Doesn't take nearly as much time, but here I am sitting here doing a voiceover for an hour-long video, which is just a tad bit painful. To be honest, the doing the retrospect is kind of what made me get sick of Dark Souls and doing those videos on my very first walkthrough. Because it just takes so long and it's so boring. I really prefer to do live recording.
Have your pick. Any you like.
Now, in this video, we are going to be doing the salvation quests, or the first two anyway. There are a couple of them. Yeah, one of them is a worm hunt quest that we're going to take from Sir Maximilian, and then the other is going to be a quest that we take from Mason. Yeah, there's actually some pretty crazy stuff that happens in this quest. It's going to test your sanity, and it is going to judge whether your arisen is a murderer or not. Now, in my last playthrough of this game, like the one that I started my other walkthrough on, I was actually looting some pretty decent stuff, but
What will it be today?
sad fact of the matter is I'm not looting very good stuff in this playthrough. It's kind of disappointing. I mean, most of the you guys have seen it so far. About 90% of the good gear that I find, I end up giving to my pawn because I can't even use it. Which kind of sucks, but I mean, when I know a chest that has really good gear in it, I really want to quit and reload in front of it until I get the thing that I want, but you guys would probably find that dreadfully boring, so I'm just going to avoid that. Man, I hate doing retrospect because what I did in this video isn't exactly fresh in my mind. It's been a couple days. And see, what happened was, I should probably explain why I'm doing retrospect for this video. This has never happened before, but for some reason, when I was transferring the files from, because I already explained to you guys what I do, I have no mic for my new computer. Like, my new computer is a desktop,
Have your pick.
and what I would do before is I was using my laptop to record and to do voiceovers at the same time because I have an external microphone on my laptop, and it has really good quality. It's my voice is actually in studio quality right now, which is pretty good, but the thing is, when I transfer the voice files over from my laptop over to my computer, the part for the voiceover for number 13, which I'm doing right now, is it was corrupted. For some reason, it said that Windows could not. What did it say? It said it couldn't recognize the codec that was used to compress the file. That's never happened to me before, and it was quite annoying because I cannot get the file to play on either of these computers. It's very annoying. And part 14, the voiceover I did for that, works just fine. So hopefully it'll never happen again, because if it does, I do not have the patience for that. And it'll probably just be it'll just be a part of the series with no commentary, because doing this retrospect stuff I don't have time for this. Live commentary is the only satisfying way to do these videos, because when you do retrospect, you basically just babble like an idiot, which is what I'm doing right now. We are so close to maxing out the rank of the Strider, and then I will never have to use it again, which will make me so happy. And the other thing that sucks about doing retrospect is the the video project is like so tiny that you can't even really see it on the screen. It's like if I make it full screen, it might be, yeah, that's a tad bit better, but it's still kind of hard to read. Because when you, like, I don't know how many of you guys actually upload your own videos that are watching this, but you know that when you use an editor program and you drag a video file into the timeline, it drastically reduces the quality and you basically cannot read anything on the screen because it's so tiny. So, yeah. It's kind of hard to read this stuff. It's going to be hard to commentate over what's happening on the screen because I can't read it very easily. Oh yeah, the skull splitter. I remember getting this. It's actually super cool. And then I know I wanted to switch out Splinter Dart for Triad Shot because you guys saw Splinter Dart. It kind of sucked. It really wasn't that great. And then I gave her like another shield skill, I think. I gave her like Shield Storm, I think, if I remember correctly, because Perfect Defense is really good, but only when you use it. Your pawns usually aren't smart enough to use it. The Symbol Onslaught, that's what I gave her. It's super good. Yeah, she already has Shield Storm.
What will it be today?
God. My pawn basically annihilates me. She's got way better skills. She's got way better equipment too. Because I don't know how many of you guys watched my last playthrough of Dragon's Dogma that I uploaded, but I kind of cheated. Because what I did was I ended up see, I took a vow to show everything in this playthrough on screen. Like I did a couple things off screen in my last one though. And this right here, what I'm doing is like an endless search for Reynard. I can never find him. But yeah, my last playthrough I kind of cheated. I went off screen and I ended up looting a bunch of stuff from certain places in the game that give you good equipment.
Trust you've been well? But come. If it was idle twittering you'd wanted, you'd have sought a prettier bird than this old crow. Crows bring tidings, most oft grim. Me, I bring you work. Still grim, I'm afraid. Well?
So yeah, you need to talk to Mason first before you actually do the Worm Hunt Salvation quest. You'll know why soon. You see, this is why doing retrospect is awkward, because I can't tell the amount of time I have in between me being stuck on that option talking live and Mason talking.
Again, naturally. Now there's word they've a man inside the castle. If that be true, he'll have need to leave the castle eventually to meet with the others. All I ask is that you keep watch. If you see someone leaving the castle, shadow them. I only have need of your eyes. Follow them and see what business has them out. I'll do the rest. Skulking about is more my line than yours, I know. But pray, lay your chivalry aside this once. I'd do it myself, but there's aught has me away from Grand Sorin for a time. Nothing for it, I fear. Tell your findings to the innkeep. We have an arrangement. Tread carefully, friend. And quietly, what's more.
Alright, so we are doing a quest right now called Playing the Shadow, I believe it's called. Or Chasing Shadows, that's it. And essentially all we have to do is run up near the royal quarters, which is towards the Duke's Denizen. And we just need to find any suspicious activity involving Salvation. Now you can always tell who members of Salvation are because of their distinct appearance. They wear black robes. Now this right here, I know I already rested to make it daytime because I thought I was going to go outside, but I wanted to do the quest with Mason first. And that guy with the freaking tome, he's stupid too. Don't take his quest yet. We are definitely not ready for that. There's Mason.
Playing the Shadow is more simple than you might think. Keep watch over who comes and goes from the castle, and follow them what seems suspicious. Simple, aye? Those we ought to hide move about after nightfall. I would know. You'll learn the rest as you go, friend. Tell anything you learn to the innkeep.
Alright, now that's a very interesting dialogue. The whole I would know thing, that just lets you know that Mason is obviously up to no good. And the only reason I ran down there for a second is because I get some of the events of these quests mixed up. Like, there's like 5 different salvation quests in this game, and I just happen to have the events of each of them a little bit mixed up, because it has been a long, long time since I played this game. And, what's more is, one of the salvation quests involves running down to that pier and spying on a meeting. This one, however, involves going up here to the royal quarters, and it will activate a cutscene between Julian and a salvation guy. Pretty suspicious, huh? Now the freaky thing is that this guy totally just disappeared. It's like, there's nothing here. He just a wall. He somehow disappeared. But this quest, all you have to do is follow Julian, but there's a catch. You have to be casual about it. If you stray too far behind him, you'll lose him and fail the quest. But if you get too close to him, he'll see you. Then you'll fail the quest. It's, I don't want to say it's difficult, but I mean it can be tricky, because he stops and checks his surroundings multiple times. And if you're anywhere near him when he does that, he'll spot you. But every time you reach a certain checkpoint, like this door right here that he just went through, it will show you exactly where he's going. He's incredibly easy to follow, because it's just, all you have to do is find the red circle. See, there he goes. Now let me give you the background story on Julian. He is an elite knight that sits next to the Duke. He is a mystic knight, because as you can see, he has a magic shield on his back and a blunt weapon. He is a mystic knight. Now, you don't really get to see any of his mystic knight abilities in this game, but, I mean, if you look at his equipment, it's just a given. You know that he's a mystic knight. But the question is, what's a mystic knight, an elite mystic knight that sits next to the Duke as like one of his strongest warriors? What's he doing messing around with salvation? Those are the questions that you want to ask yourself. Particularly pertaining to what items that they're exchanging. These are all questions that will be answered in the future. Now, like I said, when he stops like that and checks his surroundings, you have to be at least this far away from him, because if he sees you, it's basically an instant fail. Now the other weird part is, wait till you guys see who he's on his way to. That's when things get really strange. A once trusted face is going to turn into something of question, we should say. And use your camera on the corners like this. Don't deliberately walk out into the open, because there he goes, checking his surroundings again. Or checking out the chick in the pink dress. One of the two. So don't step out deliberately behind him, because he can see you. He has like full vision on his front and sides. So when you see him disappear like that, that just means it's going to activate another cutscene. It appears he has reached his destination.
Just what is this scrap to you? Loose those lips and might be our repaying card. Oh.
Good work.
Anything else I might work on for you?
I bid you good day.
Alright, so you guys should recognize her. That is Madison, or Madeline, my bad. The oh so faithful saleswoman that we talked to. This is her new shop. Once you find her, she will always be here.
For myself, I aim to put down roots in a shop of my own. Many fled the dragon, never to return, so good land is both plentiful and cheap. You'll find naught but the finest.
Let's see what she has to sell. We haven't checked in a while. That looks kind of cool, but it's not as good as what I'm wearing. That's alright though. I ended up finding a really cool piece of armor on this quest. Some very interesting things happened in this quest, actually. I'm not sure if it's this part or part 14, I can't remember. My memory's a bit jumbled of what happened in those recordings, but yeah, basically some very interesting stuff happened in those quests. Not only did we actually for once find some good armor for my character, we learned that ogres are actually quite intelligent creatures despite the act that they put on. You'll know why. If you guys have ever watched some of the less popular videos on my channel, particularly the Unstoppable Cyclops, you go ahead and watch that video, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Hint, hint. So now the only thing left to do is talk to Arsmith about what we saw.
Oh, it's you. Mason told me to expect you. If you've a message, I could relay it. The night then, is it? Fine then. I'll pass the word along.
Alright, so we get experience and we get some cash for that. We want both of those. Because being its hard mode, you just can't level up fast enough. I mean, we're definitely making progress, doing as many quests as we can that are within our abilities. The only quest I really want to avoid right now is the Tome quest that the guy with the long hair gives you, and the Wakestone quest, because I'm not confident in my ability to find Wakestones, and the Tome quest will take us into a place that will just destroy us. We're definitely not ready. So all we have right now is Extermination. We cleared that quest completely. Now it's time to take the Worm Hunt Salvation quest.
The choice is yours.
So what we need to do is investigate a cult. And here's another awkward pause where I'm obviously supposed to be talking about something important.
Here are the details. I fear this task is no simple call to action, sir. It will no doubt take time and a more subtle approach than your other work. Perhaps you've heard of the society they call Salvation. In truth, most of what we know is the product of such hearsay. They are a band of heretics who worship the dragon and welcome the perdition it brings. In the chaos come with the worm's arrival, their influence has grown. Ill news indeed. Pray, keep watch for signs of salvation as you go about your business. If you find aught, tell me.
Alright.
Good. I'll rest easier for it, sir.
So, when he says it'll take a more subtle approach as opposed to your other work, he means quite frankly that it'll be less hack and slash, so much as it is spying and finding information. Now that's not entirely true, because Sir Maximilian is completely unaware of what's truly ahead of us. Now he's correct right now, because all we have to do is talk to people. That's literally the only thing we need to do. But I'm pretty sure this guy's inside the inn. I kept looking around for him on the outside of the building, which is just stupid, but he is inside the inn. But yeah, this is a more subtle approach. All you have to do is talk to different citizens of the city.
Asking after salvation, are you? You'll be one of Mason's friends, no doubt.
There's that name again. Mason. Everybody knows that he's crazy about salvation.
All too eager, that one. He's been questioning everyone with ears to listen.
Alright, so now we need to talk to Mason again. Now finding Mason is pretty easy. He lives in the slums, and your pawns will usually tell you that. I think. And I can't hear audio coming from my video right now because it's in the timeline. But yeah, essentially your pawns will let you know that Mason lives in the slums. All you do is find this ladder. There's always a guard next to it. It's very easy to find. And just for kicks, I'm going to show you guys this little exit that leads outside Grand Soren. This is an exit that a lot of people don't know about. It is directly at the end of the slums. And I believe the outskirts of the city, like right on the beach, there should be some money.
What's this doing here?
Well, basically what I did here was I just kind of scaled the outside looking for loot. I don't think there's the Grand Soren rubble. That is an item that you can buy from Reynard, but this particular item will not be of use to you until you reach post-game. I'm not going to give any spoilers for any of you who have not seen the end of this game. There's the really awesome bit skull splitter ability. That's pretty cool. If you can successfully hit the enemy through the entire course of the attack, like including all of those crazy flips in the air, it does pretty massive damage. It essentially is a one-hit kill for well, I mean the attack is more than one hit, but I mean if it's just one attack, I consider it one hit, is what I'll refer to it as. But yes, that skull splitter attack is essentially a one-hit kill for weaker enemies right now. It's pretty beast. Can't jump up there for some reason. Now what I was looking for over here was I was looking for a mining spot, but I just couldn't find one. There's a bird nest. We like bird nests because the eggs are very useful items. They heal health and stamina. It's basically like the equivalent of a Harspud juice. And look, we have a skull, as if we haven't collected enough of those. Now, due to the fact that the eggs go bad incredibly fast, like after one day, it's very important that you use them first out of all your healing items. And hearing my voice right now, you guys are gonna think it's incredibly weird because I sound all sick and snuffly and everything right now, but in part 14, when I recorded this stuff, I sounded completely healthy. It was not until about 2 days ago that I acquired this new illness. And over here is what I'm talking about. Pretty sure there's a chest and money over here. Like a large coin pouch. It should be on that boat over here. There it is. Good stuff. And this right here was nonsense. For some reason, I literally could not get out because of the boat. But, like I said, the brine does not kill you. It simply washes you ashore. Which is completely alright. Now, there are undead out here that you need to watch out for, but, as we've already seen, the undead really aren't that big a deal. They aren't very challenging. And I know you guys probably can't see right now, so I'm going to go ahead and put my lantern away. Now, the lighting system in this game is very delicate. It literally requires that you use a lantern at night, otherwise it is nearly impossible to fight. If you're brave enough to go run out on this rock, you will find 10,000 gold, and you can search this pile for an absorbent rag. And this chest has the rose ring, which, the rose ring is an item that is used... Fuck you, Brian. The rose ring is an item that is used to increase your resistance to being caught on fire. And the sun is starting to come up. It is a wonderful sight. Now right here I decided to be an idiot and just test out my sniping abilities. For no reason at all, because there's an undead walking down there, or a couple of them. Now lightning is not particularly effective against the undead, as you can see, but I was deciding to use it anyway. Now that attack is particularly effective. That, see, look at how awesome that attack is. And I believe, I think it's in this video, maybe. No, it's in the next video. Which, the next video won't be so boring because I actually have live commentary in it. But, yeah, in the next video, you get to see me do some pretty successful one-hit kills with that attack on, like, these, this group of mages that attack me. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, granted, I'll admit they did kill me, like, once, but still... Given the situation and the circumstances I was under, it's okay. You guys will be completely okay with how I died against those mages in the next video. Because of the particular development to my party. Imminent sarcasm. With the development. So yes, this nice little bank out here, this little rocky outskirt of the city is pretty cool. We found some money, some decent loot. I suppose it was not for nothing. But now it's time to go talk to Mason. I still haven't decided who I want my love interest to be at the end of this playthrough. In which that is a very important thing. You definitely want to worry about that. Because you can make your Risen look like a lesbian if you do the right thing.
Looking for me, friend. Bearing good tidings, I hope. Else here to put me in chains, I'll wager. No, it's salvation brings you here, aye? I've had cause to ask the good folk of Grand Soren about salvation myself. Seems I'm cursed with a villain's mien, though. One look at my face stalls a man's tongue dead. Had I your gentle manner, I'd have them singing long and loud, no doubt. Seems to me we share a common goal. Perhaps you'd take on my investigation.
Alright, now, his dialogues are getting quite interesting. We are learning more and more so that Mason truly is up to no good. I mean, first he talks about how he would know that sneaking around at the night is when people do their bad business. And the other thing is that he just said, or to put me in chains, I'll wager, which means he basically has just hinted to us that he doesn't really trust us. There's also a chest back here with a strange person standing in front of it.
So what if the dragon comes tomorrow? Hunger's here today.
Well, hey man, you could always take a look in this chest and see if there's some food.
I wonder what's inside.
Oh, what do you know? Desiccated herbs. Yummy! Get out of the way. God, I'm such a dick in video games, particularly. I'm the nicest guy ever in real life, but on video games, I'm such an asshole. This nice little opening right there, that little cage door, we will be using that later for quite the interesting quest. I won't spoil it for you, but yes, we are going to need to, I'm stealing this oil, by the way. We are going to need to use that door to escape from a particular area inside Grand Soren that is not pleasant. It's an area that we have not seen yet, nor that we have access to, but you'll see later on. This game is finally starting to get interesting, which I really like. I mean, I'm starting to really enjoy this game right now, because I don't know what it was about my other playthrough that made it so much more lively and seemed so much more entertaining. Maybe it was because I had way better equipment in the beginning. Because, I mean, like I said, I kind of cheated in my last playthrough. I maxed out. I went and farmed certain items to max out my affinity with certain people so I could buy the stuff that I wanted from them super early in the game. I did it all off screen.
Oh, I see we are kindred spirits, sir.
Alright, now this chick, she says kindled spirits because I had the salvation
Will you be at the
badge.
gathering then? Word is there's to be a high officiant presiding. Not that us lot will be permitted to speak with one in such an office directly, mind.
Okay,
This must
so,
be an alehouse.
without a hint of hesitation, she completely spilled about their little meeting. Just because we have the salvation badge, which is good. We're earning the trust of salvation members so we can totally wreck their party. Now, the interesting thing about that NPC we just talked to, it's hard to tell by face right there and her hairstyle because they're all going to be in salvation robes, but there's a pretty brutal cutscene coming up later, and I'm pretty sure she gets eaten by zombies. Like, I can't tell particularly if it's her by the face, but judging by her face and the face of the woman in the cutscene that we're about to see later on, I'm pretty sure she's the one that just gets completely devoured by a zombie. It's hilarious. I used it in one of my intros in a much earlier video, like the cutscene. It was pretty funny. But yeah, in my last playthrough I maxed out my affinity with particularly good vendors that sell you awesome equipment, and I had super good stuff in the beginning of the game. Like, I had the Chimera Shield, Eden's Warden, a Sur Code. I had awesome stuff.
The gathering's to take place down in the catacombs, I hear. You'll not find me there. Just far too dangerous a place to brave for a night's diversion.
And he said the magic words, and the magic words have popped up on our quest log. The damn catacombs. This place is a pain. Not necessarily because it's difficult, but there are things that happen in the catacombs that really suck. And I'm pretty sure this is where my difficulties with the Griffin begin. Oh yes. You guys are about to see several deaths that are quite embarrassing. And when you run out here, you're going to notice a cart that's on fire, and a dialogue at the bottom. it's being attacked by the goblins. But, as you'll see in about 10 seconds, it is not the goblins that you need to worry about. Not at all. Just watch. Now, I'm not sure if you guys got a good look at what that was, but that was the Griffin. Now, I'm referring to it as the Griffin, and not a Griffin, because that is the first Griffin you encounter in Dragon's Dogma. This Griffin is special. And it's a good thing it auto-saved right there, because if I had to go do all that shit again, just because of some bird, eagle, lion, dragon creature mixed breed, I'd be a little bit aggravated. But yes, the Griffin. This Griffin is special because it's almost like you cannot successfully kill it on your first encounter, no matter how hard you try, because it will always fly away. And you'll see what I'm talking about this time.
There's a freight convoy not far from here. Come, we'll join them.
And we've got some knights over here, like some soldiers of Grand Sorn that are fighting these goblins, but take my advice. Don't go anywhere near that cart. Not until you successfully pinpoint the Griffin's location. There it is. Now, have you guys noticed anything particularly stupid about this situation? 10 points to anybody who realizes that my mage is an absolute idiot for giving my weapon a lightning buff. See, notice how it is doing 0 damage. Even when I climb on top of him and try to attack him with melee, my lightning weapons, they aren't doing squat. Yes, this is a hopeless situation. And that right there is what I was talking about. The Griffin will always be able to successfully shake you off, and no matter how much you chase it, he's going to fly into the horizon past Grand Sorn. And there is nothing you can do to chase him. So, that was the Griffin. Would you guys like to know why it is so stupid and absolutely useless that my mage buffed my weapon with lightning? Quite simply because you guys witnessed what the Griffin was capable of back there. Of course, people want to call me while I'm doing my thing. I apologize for that. Anyway, the reason the Griffin is immune to lightning, and here's the catacombs, is because you saw what he was capable of back there. If you have keen eyes, you would see that the Griffin was clearly casting lightning attacks. The Griffin is a lightning elemented enemy. And you will come to know that when we are forced to fight the Griffin later on. Now, if you think you can just avoid the Griffin right now, you go ahead and you wallow around in your ability to avoid him now, because later on it won't be an option. You will be forced to fight the Griffin. You will have to do it later on. Now, these bandits up here, I don't know what their deal is. They always seem to want to attack you, no matter what's going on. Even when there's a Griffin overhead. So yeah, it's just like, I know what you're thinking. It's kind of like, why on earth would you be focused on attacking us? There is a giant lion, bird, dragon creature flying through the air. It is probably going to kill all of us if we don't man up and work together. So, you guys probably got a glimpse of it right there. That was one of the Griffin's lightning abilities. It is able to cast lightning magic underneath its wings to do absolutely ridiculous amounts of damage in a very short, one just deadly swoop. It can kill you, as it already did to me once. I'm pretty sure I died again, I can't remember, but yes, the Griffin, there he goes with his lightning abilities again. Ugh. The Griffin is an absolute menace in this game. The thing that you need to worry about with the Griffin is its sheer intelligence. It is probably one of the smartest enemies in the game. Now, this is basically incredibly useless as well. The Griffin is not very weak to ice either. And my party is not doing very well against it. So, I mean, I am demonstrating the most successful way to fight the Griffin, is you distance yourself, stay mobile, and just keep quick on your feet. Because if you stand in the same spot and just try to shoot him as much as you can, he will kill you in a heartbeat. So you need to, you basically need to balance out the times in which you are attacking and the times in which you are fleeing. Because a correct balance of the two is the only way to beat the Griffin. It doesn't matter how much health or how much defense you have, it doesn't matter what class you are. If you stand in the same spot and just try to relentlessly bring down the Griffin through sheer force, he will beat you every time. As you can see, he basically redlined one of my pawns instantly just by landing him. So let's see if we can nail him with a throw blast. And of course, he flew away. The AI in this game is quite intelligent, especially at this point in the game. As you can see, the Griffin flew away because I equipped the throw blast. And the Griffin, in case you can't tell, the Griffin does not like fire, because fire is the only way to successfully beat him. I don't think we successfully knock him out of the air even once in this whole video. But yes, my mage, I don't understand what she was doing. It's like she was smart enough to use fire attacks on the Griffin, but she wasn't smart enough to buff my weapon with fire. Look, here she goes, lightning again. And the Griffin killed me. So I'm pretty sure this is the point in the video where I became frustrated with my pawn's lack of intelligence, and I decided to go redo my party. Which isn't necessarily a waste of time, if you think about it, but it is, let's just say it was a very necessary precaution. Because I cannot hope to defeat the Griffin if I don't have a pawn that's smart enough to buff my weapon with its weakness. So, yes. Now, the smartest thing to do would be to, would be to narrow my search down for, and when I go to the Rift, would be to narrow my search results down to a sorcerer that has good attacks and only has the fire boon, which is the really good fire buff that lasts a long time. That would be the best option. Would be to look for a sorcerer that has incredibly strong attacks and only the fire buff, so he would have no choice but to give me fire when I call for help. But I decided to be stupid, and I looked for a pawn that had holy and fire, which I got pretty lucky. Now the reason I want holy and fire is because we are going to be fighting skeletons and the undead. Now I can go up to 35. I could summon a pawn that is 10 levels higher than me with the amount of rift crystals I have, but I'm just going to keep it base level. So I don't want a mage. I definitely want a sorcerer. Yeah, the holy boon is really good. That is definitely something I want, but I need something that can cast fire as well. Yeah, Max. He has basic casts, and then he has pretty good buffs. And then I know I wanted a ranger. And this chick seemed to have pretty good abilities. And nobody seems to want to make their pawns rangers. You don't see very many of them. Now what I need is I need a ranger with tenfold flurry. So Jill is the answer. And this ranger's name is Nya. I found that kind of humorous. But yeah, you definitely want a ranger that has the ability called tenfold flurry. Now, that particular, and the only reason I summoned Fury is because I just wanted to see what he looked like. I was quite pleased with the results. But yeah, essentially, the tenfold flurry is an amazing ability that the rangers have. It is probably their strongest and most versatile attack. And do you see Fury here? He literally looks like Mr. T. That's awesome.
Yes, Arisen.
They totally did that on purpose.
You cannot take on any more followers without releasing one of your current
Alright, get out of here, 4-star.
I am honored to travel with you.
You have been replaced. I will give you a small nut. You may not have my large nut. You looked alright. Your battle rating was decent, but you were not very helpful. I'm a very harsh pawn critic.
May I?
Look at this big bastard. Alright, where's Max? There he is.
Yes, Arisen?
Alright.
You cannot take on any more followers without releasing one of your current companions.
Annie, I'm incredibly disappointed in you. So, I'm going to give you the large nut. Because that's what you deserve. You deserve a big frickin' ballsack. You look alright. Your battle rating sucks. It absolutely sucked. And then you buffed my weapon with lightning against the Griffin. That is an automatic 1-star in helpfulness. So get out of here.
May I?
I hope your Arisen is absolutely disgusted with you when you return home. Dante. Well, he looks kind of strong. But I do not need a warrior. Now, as I was saying, it's Fury. He looks like Mr. T. That's hilarious. As I was saying, the Ranger's ability, the tenfold flurry, the reason it is so crucial is because if you witness how strong it is, you'll know exactly why it's so awesome. It's essentially taking 10 arrows on the string of the longbow and firing them in one flurry at a single enemy. It does absolutely substantial damage to everything, especially if your weapon is buffed to the appropriate weakness of the current target. Like, she has the tenfold flurry, the ranger that I hired right now. So if I was a ranger right now with the ability to use tenfold flurry, both of our weapons were buffed with fire, and we were using that at a very... If we were using that at a very high rate, the two of us against the Griffin, and successfully hitting the wings and the face, it probably would die in about 10 minutes. Now, the tenfold flurry takes a lot of stamina, but at the same time, it does incredible damage. Now, as you can see, the cart is not here. Since we've died twice, the scenario has changed. But I have no complaints with that at all. Right, as far as I'm concerned, the Griffin can just go away for now. We are obviously not equipped to fight it. I just want to get to the catacombs so we can start doing the salvation quest already.
This way to the catacombs arisen.
Now, if you, like me, have died against the Griffin multiple times, and you don't see the burning cart, your dreams are short-lived because the Griffin is still out here patrolling the skies. It's just a matter of whether it sees you and wants to attack or not. So your best bet is to take these bandits down at all costs so that they won't be firing arrows at you while the Griffin is flying around. See, there it is. This thing already wants to mess with us again. Now that right there was a pretty successful hit. I made the Griffin stop right in the middle of its glide and force it to land. Eat that. See, that throw blast did that little chunk of its health bar, which is literally way better than the progress we made before. And that's what a dragon spit did. So you can see the dragon spit is very good against the Griffin. I missed with that one, but that's okay. See, this guy, Max, he's smart enough to buff my weapon, which is really good. He knows that the Griffin is weak to fire. And that is all I need. Was a pawn that is smart enough to buff my weapon. Now this right here, losing stamina and overdoing it in front of the Griffin, is a terrible idea. Because of this right here. You'll see how close he comes to basically running me over and killing me. But I need to steal stamina items from my pawns. Nom 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 nom. Check this out. See, notice how I kind of doubled over right in front of the Griffin? That could have been potentially bad. If the Griffin had chose to start just charging at me instantly right there, it would have been a death. I promise you that. Now the Griffin, see, he runs forward and he has very harsh melee attacks. He also flails around like that in circles. Now the good part is, that right there was almost a death. But the good part is the Griffin is able to damage the enemies around you as well. The Griffin has no allies, so if you are fighting a group of goblins or a group of bandits or whatever, he can inflict massive damage on them and basically get them out of your way if you are in the correct spot. But me, I'm just concerned with getting this guy out of the way because he's shooting at us while we're trying to fight the Griffin. Now this was not particularly smart. He buffed my weapon with Holy against a Griffin, which doesn't do a whole lot. But, I don't know, I just kind of got sick of it right here. I just decided to run because the Griffin, I mean, just look at him. He's an asshole. He's killing my pawns, trapping them in a corridor because he knows that we can't defeat him due to his sheer might. I decided, screw it, let's just run to the catacombs because we are obviously not equipped to deal with a Griffin. We are not the correct level, nor do we have... We are not the correct level, nor do we have the right equipment to beat him. I mean, I am obviously not doing anything to him. And we are experiencing the same crap as before. Pawn incorrectly buffing my weapon in the wrong situation. So the Griffin, his attention has officially shifted from us, and I'm pretty sure he's about to go eat one of those cows. Because this game is a lot like Monster Hunter in that aspect. If you have dealt significant damage to a monster that's smart enough to flee, and see, there he goes. You just saw the little pink health bar down there. He's eating a cow. Now we could go help that cow, but we need to get to the catacombs, so that cow's sacrifice is not in vain. But yes, this game is a lot like Monster Hunter in that aspect. If you deal significant damage to an enemy that is smart enough to flee from you, like the Griffin, and you'll notice we did about 60% of his first health bar, which is a good chunk considering we are not nearly strong enough to fight him yet. That was just sheer ability that got us that far. But yeah, if a monster's smart enough to flee, it will go find food and it will heal some of its health. Like that Griffin eating that cow back there, I'm sure he got back every last bit of that 60% that we took off, just by eating one cow. So if you end up making an enemy flee, and it rests somewhere close to you, do not let it eat, because it will heal. And the same is true for Monster Hunter. Now this right here kinda sucked. I was a total idiot. I decided to mess with these saurians, but these ones are different. As you can see, they have the ability to become not invisible, but cloaked. We'll call it that. They blend in with their surroundings like a chameleon. This is a different species of saurian. It is called a sulfur saurian. They are much stronger. As you can see, my pawn just lost half of her health due to one tail smack. And they have even more defense, and their ability to turn cloaked like that makes them a problem. Now they are just as weak to fire as they were before, and there are a bunch of them here, unfortunately. But they're just like regular saurians. That one right there, I don't know how it killed me that fast, but they do. As you can see, this is what we're up against. Journeys end swiftly for the unprepared, as we just found out the hard way. If you're going to pick a fight with something, two things must be established. One, you have to have whatever it is weak to, or you're not going to win. And two, you have to know how to fight it. Now me, I know how to fight everything in this game because I've encountered every single enemy in this game at least 1,000 times, and successfully taken it down. But those sulfur saurians, we do not have the equipment to take them down. I mean, I know we're not going to mess with sulfur saurians just yet, deliberately anyway. But yes, sulfur saurians, even though we're not going to mess with them yet, and me giving you information on them is completely irrelevant at this moment, I might as well just let you know. Sulfur saurians, they are an absolute pushover if you have blast arrows. Blast arrows are expensive, and they are incredibly heavy for arrows. They literally weigh like half a unit for each arrow, 0.5. That's absolutely ridiculous. But they are incredibly powerful, especially the Griffin. If you have blast arrows, by all means, fire them at the Griffin if there is a Griffin present. But we are not going to mess with the Griffin right now because he has kicked our ass about 3 times in a row, and I honestly don't feel like losing to him over and over again. Now, he's not picking a fight with us right now because we haven't shot at him yet, and he just ate a cow. He's nice and full. But, yeah. I decided to be an idiot in this part, and like a true idiot, I wanted to establish revenge on those sulfur saurians for what they did to me. I don't recommend doing that, because, I mean, the circumstances did not change. They basically started kicking our asses really hard again, but we did slightly better against them. We ended up bringing down like 2, which is alright. But these explosive barrels, those are what we want to use against the sulfur saurians. Basically, any explosion item, anything that can generate a large blast, whether it be a barrel or an arrow or fire magic, that is what you want to use against the saurians. It requires a lot of stamina to heave these barrels around, but take this. Now you see, that felt really good, and we ended up blasting his tail off. See, look, we just annihilated that one through sheer teamwork. And there are a lot of them over here. As you can see, there are a bunch of them hiding. They were cloaked. But we have more barrels. So you can lead your pawns back to you and tell them to stop fighting the saurians. And then all you have to do is wait until the saurians get within range of the barrel, and then the fight is yours. Because once you get that large blast, it disorients them. See? Look at them. And that right there is free hits for you. Now, just like the other saurians, they spit poison, so you need to be careful of that. Oh god. Every time they get close, it makes me nervous. Because I know if I get hit, it's going to be a death. So I think we got like... We ended up getting like one more saurian. Yeah, and that's it. I ended up leveling up and getting a rank up. And we got some striped saurian skin, which is a pretty good item to loot. I don't know about you guys, but when I successfully bring down something... Look at that awesome skull splitting attack. And we got a yellow poison sac too. I don't know about you guys, but when I bring down an enemy that I know for a fact is 20 times stronger than me and I shouldn't be fighting, I get a serious rush of proudness and just zealor when I end up defeating one and looting whatever it has to offer, because it's like, you know you're obviously not a high enough level to be dealing with this monster, but you have some of its loot in your inventory, which shows that you have successfully beat it even though you're not supposed to be able to. That's a good feeling. I strive for that feeling in RPGs. So like in my very first playthrough of Dark Souls, when I got up to the Undead Church, I hadn't leveled up since Firelink Shrine at all. And I ended up getting like a piece of Balder armor, and I was really happy because I was such a crappy low level. Now the Remnant Shroom you cannot ingest like a regular mushroom. It just looks like a large mushroom, but it's actually not. You can mix it with other items, but you cannot ingest it as it is. And if you don't know why I'm picking up the Jasper Blossoms, it's just because it's something that I haven't collected yet. And these, oh, we got another Dragon Spit. Those throwable explosive items are actually really good to have. We gotta have our apples. And I believe that's a Mithridite that was right in front of me. Oh no, it's a Scarlet Angelica. The Scarlet Angelica is a very rare herb itself. It's really good for upgrading certain equipment. But here we are at the catacombs. We are finally here, so I will see you guys in the next video.